Cheers. What if raise your frequency isn't just some cute spiritual slogan, but an accurate description of what you're doing with your biology and your energy field and your timeline? And every time you choose a thought, a breath, or a reaction, it shifts. If that already hit somewhere in your chest, please drop the word frequency in the comments so I know that you're actually tuned in and you're not just gonna here to collect spiritual quotes. Let's start with the physics, and then I'll translate it into some spiritual language. At the deepest level, modern physics does not see the universe as a pile of little solid marbles. It sees it as fields spread across space, like an ocean of potential that can vibrate in different ways. The electron field is everywhere. An electron is a vibration of that field. A photon field is everywhere. A photon is a vibration of the electromagnetic field. Quantum field theory says a particle is what a field looks like when it's vibrating in a particular pattern and a particular place. The math we use to describe those states is called a wave function. It doesn't just say where something is, it also describes the whole cloud of possibilities and probability of each one. So underneath the appearance, reality is fields, vibrations, and probabilities. In plain language, everything you can touch is made up of frozen music. Different fields, different notes, different harmonies, and your body is made out of that exact same stuff. Now, where do frequencies come in? A frequency is just how fast something is oscillating or moving up and down. How many cycles per second in wave physics and quantum theory, different frequencies correspond to different energies and different behaviors. High frequency is more energy per unit. Low frequency, less energy per unit. On the spiritual side, people have always talked in this language. Oh boy, that room really felt heavy. Her energy is so calm and high at the same time. Bro, did you feel the same way? That situation just felt so dense and stuck. They're literally describing patterns in consciousness and emotion the way physics describes patterns in waves. Quantum physics isn't saying your sadness is exactly X hertz, but it is saying the entire universe is a vibrational medium and you're not just outside of it. Your nervous system is plugged into the same fabric that electrons and photons vibrate in. Your frequency is how your inner patterns of thought, emotions, and psychology line up with that field. If that already reframed your vibe as something real and embodied, you could also just drop the word field in the comments so it lands in your nervous system, not just in your intellect. Now let's drop this from the head into the heart. Modern research on the heart field is wild. Your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ that's in your body, and it's measurable several feet around you. The field itself carries information about your emotional state and interacts with your brain and nervous system in a constant two-way conversation. When you feel frustration or anger, your heart rhythm looks jagged and chaotic. But when you get to a place in the present moment where you feel appreciation or love, it shifts into a smooth, ordered pattern. That's called coherence. This isn't just poetry, even though it might sound poetic. This is measurable, documented. There's research on this. Coherence is literally a more organized vibration of your heart and your nervous system. In that state, your brain works more efficiently, bro. You can think clearer. You can regulate your emotions better. You can access intuition way easier. So the spiritual translation is when they say raise your frequency into gratitude, compassion, or love. It's not that you're just feeling nicer feelings. You're shifting your body into a more harmonious vibration and broadcasting that pattern into your own cells and the space that is around you. That is the frequency work, bro. Now let's add the quantum observer effect. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect says that the very act of measuring or observing a system changes it. Before observation, a system is described as a wave function, a spread of probabilities and possibilities. After observation, that spread collapses into one actual outcome. You cannot look without touching. You cannot measure without influencing. So spiritually, this mirrors ideas like where attention goes, energy flows, what you focus on grows. Your awareness isn't neutral, bro. It's participatory. Every time you lock your attention into a thought, a story, a fear, a possibility, you are, in a sense, measuring the line of reality inside of your own field. You are collapsing your inner wave function toward that outcome. So when you obsessively feed fear, worst case scenarios, resentment, regret, doom, you're not just watching a low frequency reality. You're practicing that frequency. You're wiring your nervous system and heart field to live there. When you choose again and again to return your awareness to courage, truth, gratitude, and love, you're not avoiding reality. You're choosing which version of reality you will be coherent with. You're training your inner field to resonate with different probabilities. Right now, you need to affirm to yourself, everyone that's in this live stream, as well as the people that will see this later in the comments, and just drop, I choose my frequency. So your future self remembers this on their next bad day. So here's where quantum, spiritual, and practical all meet up. Think of your nervous system like this: the quantum view. You are made of fields of vibrating patterns consistently interacting with everything around you. Now the biological view. You are a nervous system, a brain, and a heart that's broadcasting electrical and magnetic signals through your body and way beyond. Spiritual view. You are consciousness choosing how to relate in every moment, every thought, every emotion, every person. Your frequency is the overall pattern of all three: the stories you repeat, the emotions that you rehearse, the way that you breathe, the way your heart is beating, the quality of your attention. Low frequency doesn't mean bad person. It often means chronic stress, old trauma looping, overexposure to fear-based media, no tools for regulation or coherence. High frequency doesn't mean fake positive. It means nervous systems more regulated than not. Heart able to come back to coherence faster after stress. Mind is trained to notice, not to worship every fear. Your soul is anchored in purpose, bigger than today's drama. That's frequency in 3D, bro. So how do you actually work with your frequency? Not just a concept, but something you can do every day. You just have to tend to your heart field. Once or twice a day, put your hand on your chest and breathe slowly and steadily for 1 to 2 minutes, a little deeper, but not forced. And while you breathe, bring up one real feeling of appreciation, something simple and true. Research genuinely shows that even a few minutes of this kind of state can improve mental clarity, emotional regulation, intuitive problem solving for hours, bro. You're just going to simply upgrade your signal. Number 2, bro, is guard the observer. Have hygiene for your attention. Notice when you're repeatedly giving your attention to news, conflict, gossip, fear, loops, or possibly solutions and healing. Quantum physics tells us observation changes the system. Spiritual wisdom tells us attention feeds outcomes. Practically, that means that your media diet and your inner monologue are frequency choices. Number 3, clean the instrument, bro. Like your body and nervous system. Sleep, movement, hydration, actual food, sunlight. These aren't becoming or boring extras, bro. They are how you keep your hardware capable of running higher order frequencies. A fried nervous system will interrupt everything as a threat. A rested one can actually receive subtle guidance. Number 4, just rewrite the code, player. Like the beliefs and the stories that you tell yourself. Notice the sentences that live in your head. I always mess up. Nobody sees me. It's too late. This is just who I am. These are not just thoughts, bro. They're literally scripts for your frequency. Gently challenging and rewriting them is not delusion. It's literally recoding your inner field. And then number 5, choose your baseline emotion. You're going to feel like the whole spectrum: sad, anger, grief, joy, confusion. But over time, you can choose a home frequency that you return to: trust, gratitude, curiosity. That home base becomes the gravitational center of your field. If any of these 5 practices that I've given you that you can do any time you choose, any and every day, you can also just drop new signal in the comments so that you anchor your intention. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. This is where Team Human really matters, bro. Team Human is for the ones who are done pretending they're just random meat in a meaningless universe. For the ones who understand that physically, they are vibrating fields. Emotionally, they are broadcasting patterns into their body and the environment. Spiritually, they are consciously choosing how to show up in a world that profits from them being afraid and disconnected. Being Team Human means that you take your frequency seriously, bro. It's not aesthetic. It's like your responsibility. You know that your regulated, coherent presence affects rooms, kids, partners, clients, strangers, whether they have language for it or not. You practice coming back to love, not because life is soft, but because love is one of the most stable, high-ordered frequencies a human system can hold. We're not here to be perfect, bro. We're just here on purpose. To remember, I'm a living frequency in a living field. I will not hand my signal over to fear by default. And if you can feel that even just 1% in your bones to show me that you're here at the end of the video, you can comment Team Human or even hit the follow button so that you can stay in a space that keeps reminding you of who and what you really are, bro. Because you're not just a surviving energy that you can't control. You are a signal. And this lifetime is your chance to decide what you broadcast. I love you, bro.